This is complete guide to a tourmaline engagement ring. We'll start with what tourmaline is and the key color families, how they look in a real daily life, and which gray, brown, or olive tints to avoid. Then I'll show you the lab report that's actually proved that what you are buying, 3 quick cut checks you can do from a simple phone video, and the millimeter size that looks right on the hand, plus the safest setting for a daily wear, which is extremely important. Near the end, I'll show you real 2-carat solitaire price range from the least to the most expensive, so you can budget with confidence. What tourmaline actually is. Tourmaline is the group of closely related gemstones. Most ring quality stones comes from one species called elbite. Tiny trace elements tints the crystal different colors. Manganese, for example, makes pink to red. Copper makes that neon teal we call Paraíba. Chromium or vanadium puts the rich green, and the iron can shift in blue, same as other gemstones actually. Same family, different recipe, which is why tourmalines give you such a wide customizable palette for your engagement ring. Color. What looks great in real life, not pronounced, but has to be as a title. Color is the #1 reason to choose tourmaline. So let's take a minute with each family. I'll tell you what color to look for, what to avoid, and how it behaves in a daily light. First of all, let's start with a classic pink. A bright, clear pink gives you the best value. Look for a lively bubblegum or rose tone with a good sparkle and no gray or brown in the face, which is actually pretty common. If you notice a dusty rose that looks sleepy, it will likely feel flat on the hand and your engagement ring not gonna look good. In daylight, a good pink stays fresh and sweet. Under the warm indoor light, it can deepen a touch, but should not turn salmon or brown. Rubellite, the red pink. Rubellite is moody, raspberry to red pink. The best stone feels juicy and alive, not brownish. A little silk or tiny inclusions are common and okay if the face still looks bright. Watch out for the stone that looks cherry red in the studio photos but shift brown indoors. You want to avoid those. Ask to see it in the shade or in the hand so you can judge the true body color. Chrome green. Chrome tourmaline should look like rich forest green with the life under the table, not a dark bottle green that goes black inside. The most common issue is stone. Too dark. Majority of the stones are quite dark. If it stays vivid green in a phone video outdoor and still looks green under the warm lamplight, you've got a winner. That's the one you want to get. Avoid olive or nashy green unless that's the earthy look is you going for, which is quite trendy right now. Indicolite, the blue to blue green. True blue tourmaline is the rare and beautiful and as a result expensive. Many stones lean slightly green or slightly gray. What you want is the confident blue or blue-green that doesn't wash out or not too dark. In daylight, it should look saturated without going inky. Indoor it might warm hair, but it shouldn't turn gray. If a stone looks amazing only in the bright studio light, ask for an outdoor clip to confirm. And finally, Paraíba. This is a celebrity. Electric blue-green glow you notice from across the room. You truly will. It's actually quite bright. The key word is glow. Bright neon-like color with a clear clarity and lively cut. These stones are often receive gentle heat to optimize the color. That's absolutely normal. Be cautious with anything that sounds like a clarity feeling because that's weaken the gem for an engagement wear. It's not going to be durable. Most Paraíba types on the market today is from Mozambique, which is a lovely place in South Africa, with Brazilian stones commanding very high premium. Next one is the watermelon. The bicolor watermelon tourmaline shows two colors in one crystal, usually green on the outside and pink in the center. It's still albite. The color comes from the trace elements growing together in the zone. What to look for over there in that stone? Clear, pleasant contrast between the pink and the green, not a moody or gray middle. In daylight, the pink should stay lively and the green should stay green, not olive. Setting over here. Facet bicolor can make striking center. Thin slice cross-section look cool, but are more fragile for the daily wear. If you love sliced look, choose a low basil and plan to treat it gently. And if you're okay with that design, make a bridge over this transition area. That's gonna save your stone from a lot of impact. Real world prices for 2-carat simple solitaire. Let's anchor prices for a simple 2-carat solitaire in 14-carat gold for the simplicity. A classic swordtail mount now starts around $950 and the stone drives the total. And by the way, if you're watching this video, you're likely shopping for an engagement ring and want to get it right. We designed one-of-the-kind custom engagement rings built around her taste, your budget, and the daily wear. Click the link below for the free video guide or book a free meeting. Stay to the end. We've got a special offer just for the viewers and I hope we get to work together. Let's keep going. Starting at the value and classic pink tourmaline. For a bright clear 2-carat stone, most buyers land between $1,400 and $3,000 for the finished solitaire. That assumes roughly $200 to $600 per carat on the stone plus a simple setting. Again, everything going to depend on the color and other things that I mentioned above. If the pink is unusually saturated and well cut, the total can climb dramatically. Next is the watermelon tourmaline, the bicolor with pink and green in the same crystal. Faceted B-color vary with how clear the split look, but a good 2-carat center in a simple solitaire typically finish around $1,300 to $2,500. Slices can be cheaper per ring, but they are less durable for everyday engagement ring. If you love that look, keep the basil low and plan to treat it gently. Next one is the Rubellite, the rich red pink. A lively raspberry tone 2-carat Rubellite in a classic solitaire usually goes for $23,000 to $4,000. Strong color without a brown cast and clear face would nudge you towards the top of the range. Moving up, chrome green tourmaline. When the tone stays vivid and doesn't go too dark indoor, a 2-carat chrome solitaire commonly lands between $2,600 and $3,900. If its tone looks bottle green or bletches under the warm light, pass and keep looking for a brighter piece. It's just not suitable for the engagement ring unless you are on a very tight budget. Next, Indicolite, the blue to blue-green. You're paying for a hue purity here. A clear, well-cut 2-carat Indicolite in a simple setting typically finish around $3,300 to $4,800, and the fine blues can go higher. At the top, Paraíba, of course, the copper-bearing teal with that electric glow. For most couples choosing fine Mozambique materials, a 2-carat solitaire finish somewhere between $9,000 and all the way up to $26,000 and more, driven by how neon the color looks, how clear the stone is, and how well it cut. True Brazilian origin neon can sit far beyond normal engagement ring budget, so if you love the look but you want to stay sensible and reasonable, and strong Mozambique is the sweet spot. That's the real world picture for 2-carat simple solitaire for the 2025. Of course, if you're watching this video from 2026 and so on, the price is probably going to be different. Now let's make sure the color you choose looks amazing in the daylight. Why choose tourmaline instead of the sapphire for the same budget? You often get bolder color and a larger on-hand look, bigger millimeters for the same budget, so long as the color is lively in the daylight. Reports and treatment, what they do and what they don't. There is no official cut grade for tourmaline. A lab won't score the beauty. What a good lab can do is confirm identity, list any treatments, and in Paraíba type confirm that it's Cooper bearing. Sometimes a lab will also give an origin opinion. The labs I rely on most are AGL for identity, treatment details, and Cooper bearing confirmation, GI for identity and strong research on Cooper bearing tourmaline from different regions, and GRS or Rubellite for origin on higher value pieces. Normal treatment you'll see is heating. That's common and generally accepted, especially in Paraíba type stones, to optimize the color. What you should avoid for an engagement ring and overall in general is the glass or resin feeling. That hides the crack, and it isn't durable. If a stone looks unbelievable neon and unbelievably cheap, slow down and ask for a top tier report. How to judge beauty when there is no cut grades. Use 3 quick checks you can do from a phone video. First, the window test. Hold the stone over the dark line. If you can read the line through the center, the stone is windowed and leaking light. Move on, you don't want this for the engagement ring. Second, even brightness. In daylight, the table and the upper facets should show consistent light return, not a dead see-through patch in the middle. Next, cut checks, ratio and depth. Use lakes to width ratio as a quick guide. Aim for ovals 1.3, 1.5, emeralds 1.3, 1.4, piers 1.4, 1.5, and radiance 1.2, 1.3. For depth, many tourmaline looks balanced around 60 to 70%. If depth sits far outside that range, the stone might face up small in the case of the deep cut, or simply leak the light if it's too shallow, so obviously avoid those stones. These are starting points. Pick the stone that looks bright in a daily life, or make sure you choose the right jeweler and he checks everything for you. Next, let's talk about the visual sides, which is extremely important. So let's talk about millimeters, what your eyes actually see. A 8 to 6 millimeter stone looks like a 1.5 carat on the hand. 9 to 7 millimeter stone looks like a 2 carat, and 10 by 8 millimeter stone looks like 3 carat. Always confirm millimeter size, not just carat weight. Carat is weight, millimeters are presence. Daily wear and setting confidence. Tourmaline sits around 7 to 7.5 on the Mach scale. That's fine for engagement ring with a small setting and normal care. Choose a slim bezel that frames the collar and protect the edges, or sturdy prongs with a practical head height so it doesn't snag. For 1 to 3 carat, keep the prongs robust and plan the wedding band's clearance so their ring don't grind each other. In this case, I would highly recommend to make engagement ring and the wedding band at the same time. For a daily care, skip ultrasonic cleaning if the stone has many inclusion. Use warm water, simple, mild soap, and soft brush. Take it off for the gym, climbing, and moving furniture and all the other things like that. Treat it with respect and it will stay beautiful for years. Let's recap. Quick buyer check. Color first. Choose a lively tone and avoid gray, brown, or olive unless you truly want that look. Demand a daily light video plus a warm indoor clip of the same stone. No windowing, no see-through center. Then ask for a report, AGL or GIA for Paraíba types and pricier blue and green. A local lab can be fine for a budget pink when you trust the seller. Treatment. heat treatment is normal, but avoid glass or resin filling stones. And millimeters over carat. Confirm the on-hand look you want. Setting, protective prongs or a slim bezel with a sensible height for a daily life. That's pretty much all the information you need to know about the tourmalines to make a confident, informed decision. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.